KBC gave me a contract where they could pay me 2,000 per story that goes on air. And believe me or not, the first paycheck I got after they accepted me as a correspondent was 80,000.
First of all, you're making 80 grand a month.
Yeah.
18 years old.
Yeah, I'm very competitive.
So have you ever produced any film?
I think I've done over 450 films. I make my films with my students.
Obviously, making movies is pretty expensive. Which is the most expensive you've done?
So right now, I'm making a film which is $1 million production and $1 million distribution. I love the fact that we don't have to depend on mainstream media. Get this, if you're not confident, you're not going anywhere.
Let's think about that for a second, my guy, man. What?
Chafuwa Meza, Chafuwa Meza. Tuko Nairobi tuna Chafuwa Meza, Chafuwa Meza, Chafuwa Meza. Tuko in the city, Chafuwa Meza. Don Kings in the building. Don Kings in the building. Chafuwa Meza, Chafuwa Meza. Tuko Nairobi tuna Chafuwa Meza, Chafuwa Meza, Chafuwa Meza.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Chafuwa Meza. I am your host, Slimmy G, and today we have a special guest that's blessing our platform. She's coming all the way from Kenya. Obviously, this is our first time in America. Yeah, this is the second time. This is our second time in America. My bad. Pardon me. This is the second time in America, but definitely the first time in North Carolina. The first time in my studio. The first time in my city. The first time to see me anyway. The first time to be seen on my show.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, man.
And on that note, I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce yourself so we can continue. But before we continue, usually on my platform we take shots, man. But first things first, we take shots. But today, I guess we're going to be doing water.
Yeah.
Water shots. But it's your time now. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and as we continue.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Rachel Wina. I am a film producer, director. A very phenomenal human who loves laughing and life and soft life and also traveling. I am also a CEO and founder of Youth Film Platform Africa and Film Village of Kenya.
Whoa.
And I think I say I wear many hats. I'm also a consultant. I do curriculum development and communication consultancy management and also strategic management for different corporates. Yeah. So a lot.
Man, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yo, it's an honor to have you, man. First of all, let's start from the film because that's a big one, man. Yeah. What made you jump into film?
Yeah, so first of all, actually I was not going to do film. It just came in as a by the way. So I grew up wanting to be a journalist. So my entire dream was to be a journalist, then end up becoming a TV presenter. So when I graduated high school, I wanted to become a journalist, and my dad wanted me to do law. So that conflict led to me just, getting out of my father's house when I was 17 years old, going into the streets. I was so determined to become a journalist that I went, hawked things in the streets of Nairobi, and actually saved 150,000 and enrolled myself into college to learn journalism. So the reason why I liked journalism is because I generally just love speaking to people, inspiring people. And also, I feel like I just love telling stories. So, but the thing is, the confusion was I didn't know how I want to tell my stories. So I became a journalist I went to the East African School of Journalism, studied journalism. Now, before graduation, they always tell you need to go for internship.
Yes.
So I tried to look for internship everywhere. I couldn't find the internship. It's very hard to find internship.
Yeah.
So I went to Kenyan News Agency, asked them to post me to Narok. For those who know, they know that I'm Masai Kikuyu.
Yeah.
I'm Kikuyu Masai.
Okay.
So my late mom is Masai. And so what happened is, I have a lot of family in Narok. So I told them, send me to Narok. Then I was sent to this office, which had this guy. My boss was a drunkard. He was not coming to the office. It made me step up because the office also had a typewriter. I had never used a typewriter in my life. And I had to file news daily to Kenya News Agency. but because Kenya News Agency is a government agency, I got access to court files, to the DC, and to different government officers. So I had access to news. When I was there, I started sending news, radio news to KBC because I noticed KNA just takes their news to KBC. So I called the editor, Kennedy Osir, and I said, can't I just send you the news on SMS? That time I had a Mulika Mwizi, by the way. So I used to type the news on the Mulika Mwizi, send it. Then the guys who saw me covering the news, they could be very happy because every night I made sure KBC ran a story about Narok and it had my name on it. So that's how I graduated from being a radio journalist to becoming a TV correspondent. I did dare to make some of the most phenomenal stories, like even climbing on top of trees to record police mistreating women and during the Mau eviction and risking being shot, doing all these stories. Just I wanted
So
to.
you was in the streets.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was able to do this. And when I filed these stories, that time, the funny thing is, when I was a correspondent for KBC, there was no internet and all these things. You
Yeah.
can't send the files. So do you know what we used to do? We used to go to Narok Line, the Matatu. We send it to Nyamakima. Then KBC sends somebody to Nyamakima to pick. And remember, this is news. So you have to have filmed that news by 3 p.m. so that news can even have a chance of running at 7 p.m. That's what happened. So basically, I worked so hard. I used to rent a mini DV camera. So that time, of course, we also didn't have cameras that are using SD cards. And I used to rent a mini DV camera. I go and record the news. So the mini DV camera was being rented for 500 bob. KBC gave me a contract where they could pay me 2,000 per story that goes on air. So what I used to do is I rent the camera for 500 bob. I make the story, and believe me or not, the first paycheck I got after they accepted me as a correspondent was 80,000. I filed 40
80
stories
grand.
in a month.
And this is what age were you? 18, 19?
I was 17, 18.
80 grand a month. 18 years old?
18 years old. And remember, I was like, I've just come from the streets. I was hawking things in the streets to save this money to go to school. And then I think I was so driven because especially when you want to do something and your whole family does not believe in it, I'm this kind of very rebellious person. I want to prove to them that this is good.
Of course, yeah.
So with that, I think my family really helped me to be a driven person because the moment they didn't support my dream, I started every day proving to them that my dream is valid and what I'm doing is an amazing job. And that's all. So I always wanted to stand out. So even when I went to Narok, I noticed there were so many correspondents. So I noticed how I need to stand out. I came up with a strategy. And I said, okay, I'll be close to the DC, I'll be close to these guys. And when the story, like, for example, the court stories, whenever somebody is going to be sentenced for murder, I'm going to be the first one because I'm from government. They're from private sector. I'll be the first one to access the files, get the information, and send. Also, I also upgraded myself by renting the camera and doing videos over and above the audios. So guess what happened? I was poached to Nairobi by KBC. So they started sending me all over the country. And in that process, I met the guy who introduced me to the film industry. His name is the late Rolf Smith. He had a very big restaurant in Karen. It was called the Horseman Karen. It is where KCB Karen is today. It used to be there. It used to be like this high-end. He was a German, and it used to be this high-end restaurant. And this guy had a very special job. Apart from owning that restaurant, he used to cater for international films that were being filmed in Kenya. So that year, he was catering for a film crew for a Russian movie, which was called Equator. Then he invited me to go and make a documentary of him making catering for an international film crew because somebody had said they're going to give him audience in a German TV for his documentary. So I had nothing to lose because this guy, first of all, he had a PD 150, which was a big premium camera at that time. He had his tapes. All I had to do is present myself with my camera skills and film him. Then again, this contract started as a 3-month contract. So as a 3-month contract, I was called and told, Rachel, come, I'll pay you 5,000 shillings per day. 5,000 shillings for every day per month. Like every day for 3 months.
Hold up,
I already
man.
knew I would go home with a lot of money.
Yo, we gotta take a break on this one real quick, man. First of all, you're making 80 grand a month.
Yeah.
18 years old.
Yeah.
And now you're making 5 grand a day.
Yeah.
Let's think about that for a second, my guy, man. What?
Film has got money. And let me
No,
tell you.
of course, film has money, but I'm just thinking about your age and making this kind of
Yeah.
money. First of all, the first time you got the 80 grand, what's the first thing you bought at 18 years old?
Let me tell you, I wasted all that money. I'll be very honest. I gave out. I'm very generous. I'm known in my family as the most generous person. I went with that money. I took a taxi, went home, gave my parents each 10,000, then give my brother money because my brother was in campus, paid my sister's school fees. She was in high school. And then I bought clothes. I just bought nice things and then just went back because I knew I'll be getting the same amount every month.
Yeah.
And then the place where I was living in Narok, I was not even paying rent. I was staying at my uncle's house. And so I had never had any bills because my uncle was very rich. He had everything. There was buffet every night. I was not suffering at that point because staying with my uncle, I had everything.
Enjoyment.
So I just enjoyed myself, I'll say. And I used to also get some money from the side. Like the DC, when I go and cover the story, gives me an envelope, gives me 5K. Another person gives me 2K, 3K. Because they know for sure my story is going to be in the news. Because I had a very good relationship with my editors. When my editors gave me feedback about quality, I listened to them. I always improved. My goal has always been, and this is something I've always had. I don't know where it came from. I'm very competitive. So when, like, for example, I got even into class 1, class 2, when I became number 2, I was depressed all through, so I had to go and read so I can beat everyone and stand out. So it's me, it's my character. I grew up with that kind of character. And so I grew up always leveraging competitive advantage. So when even I go like to any job like film industry or media, that's the first thing I do naturally is just to look at my competition, look at how I can stand out and what can I do differently. So that's something that has helped me through my life just because I had that spirit. I don't know. I think it came from my late mother because she was very driven, just like me. But that's something that has helped me a lot. I don't settle for mediocrity.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
This is fire.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
know.
all that's just introduction.
Yeah.
So okay, this is my first question to you, right? So do you think this is journalist right now, whatever we're doing?
This is journalism, yes.
You think
it
so?
It is. Citizen journalism. It's people speaking freely, and that's what the internet has brought to us. The journalism has come from the mainstream, and now journalism is everywhere. When you're talking about real-time issues, it becomes journalism. It becomes fiction when you have characters and you have a script and you're acting. That's when it becomes fiction.
Interesting.
Even documentary is actually part of journalism.
Because it's not too long ago I was watching there was someone coming from a news conference and they're having that argument. If you're in a podcast and you're not really doing anything on a radio or a news channel, they don't really consider you as a journalist. You just I don't know what they want to call you, but they don't see you as a journalist.
So there are many types of journalists.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
But the way they were putting it, it's like, no, they cannot consider a podcast being part of a journalist.
A podcast, there's so many political podcasts. Like, for example, I would say Obina TV in Kenya, which is actually talking about real-time news.
Yeah.
People podcast in different styles. And you find that there's even this guy I follow, David Wafula. And when you look at his channel, it's a podcast and it's really amazing. But he's using factual items and he's reporting to us about things that are happening. Even Twitter, anybody on X nowadays is actually a journalist. What you're doing is doing breaking news. When you see somebody's dead, the news breaks out on Twitter. What do they mean that that's not news? That's news.
It is news, yeah.
Even podcast is
Just
news.
in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting when it comes to journalism? I know you don't do journalism no more, but how do you feel right now because you have platforms like this that takes off from probably those journalists we used to? Because remember, before this, it was them. We used to
Yeah.
watch everything from
Yeah.
journalism. They're the ones who run to the streets. They're the ones on the news. Anything is them.
Yeah.
But now we have a platform like this. We have Twitter, like you mentioned. Like it's so many social media. Like we don't have to really depend on them no more. How do you feel about that?
I love it. I love the fact that we don't have to depend on mainstream media. I have a story. One day I told you I did a story about Mau Forest. Let me tell you how bad the mainstream media can get. The mainstream media is controlled by government.
Thank you.
First of all, the government has to give the licenses for this media to operate. So the government will really control the narrative, and sometimes the truth is hidden. So, like in my case, when I went to Mau Forest, that's when I learned about the nasty things that happen in the mainstream media because I risked my life, climbed on top of a tree with a friend of mine to record a story. This story was like an exclusive because we saw police raping women, burning houses, doing all these things. And yet the police were claiming that they were not using force to evict people from the Mau Forest. This was around about 2005. Now, the thing is, the police are lying. Journalists sacrifice to go and expose them. Then you send your tape to KBC only to be told they couldn't show part of that footage. So they just showed police are burning houses. Why couldn't they show police are using force to rape women, they're mistreating kids, they're killing, they're beating people, and we captured it? They couldn't show because of the bureaucracy that is there in mainstream media. It's controlled, the editorial process is controlled, and sometimes they don't have the option of showing us the truth. So what I love about the digital media is the truth always comes out. With the recent abductions that have happened in Kenya and other things, you find the truth always comes out. Somebody will always leak the information on
Yes.
social media. Secondly, social media does not have editorial guidelines. Nobody is monitoring you right now to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And again, before Kenya government figures out how to regulate social media, right now we're good because we can only be regulated by the platforms. Like, for example, if I'm on Facebook, I'm regulated by Facebook. So if the government has a problem with the content I'm posting, they have to deal with Meta, not with me.
Yes.
So that's how it is right now. But imagine now, when they get to a point where they can now regulate you, Lemmy, or me, Rachel, that's where the problem
Oh
will
yeah,
be.
it's going to be a very bigger issue.
Yeah, but I
Especially,
don't think it will happen.
I hope it never happens.
Yeah.
I'm praying for that because, and that's the reason why I do what I'm doing right now because I have that power. Nobody can tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Nobody can control whatever I'm doing, and I want to keep it like that.
Exactly. And you can talk about whatever you want. The Constitution of Kenya, especially, and also I know the Constitution of America, one of the freedoms that it gives you is the freedom of expression,
Yes.
the freedom to express yourself and to say what you feel. And you have many now platforms to do that. I'm sure politicians don't like that because they don't like a free society which expresses himself.
Of course.
Because it exposes the rot in
Yeah.
the society, which
Yeah.
is mainly caused by the political class and the governance gaps that we have. And also some just people who are not straight in the society. Not everybody is straight. So those people don't like this media because they don't want to be exposed.
Very true. Very true, man. And that's probably why I will do something that you don't like,
Exactly.
and which is have maybe one or two politicians in here just to
Yes, yes.
just to
You
get
can have them.
their side of the story, man. I
Yes.
don't do politics, but I just want to do one or two politicians and then be done
Exactly.
with it, man. But anyway, let's get back to the film part, man. So have you ever produced any film?
Oh yeah, I have produced films since a long time ago. So I've done film and TV. My first break was the Hot Circle, where it was a game show, TV game show, and I got selected to as a director. So that was
That's on KBC,
no, it was a DSTV show.
DSTV. Okay.
Yeah, so I did direct it. It was a big show. Then from there, I worked on other people's films, but I've also worked on so many films, short films, because of my organization and what we do. Because from 2010, what I did is I make my films with my students. So majority of the people may not even know me, but I'm executive producer on over 60 short films
What?
done by me and my students, and I'm able to show you all those short films. I'll also make films every year. I go to Italy, even this year I'm going. I go to this festival with like 100 filmmakers from different countries in the world who come together. So, like a cinematographer will come with their camera, a sound person will come with their sound. I will go in as a producer. I'll help the movies, help do the logistics and everything. And then we all come together and make movies and screen in 12 cities of Italy. So it's an amazing program. And when I go to that program, I think the minimum number of movies I make before I leave is like 15 movies. Either I'm an actress or I'm in,
15
yeah.
movies.
Yeah, so I've done, if you look at my portfolio of films that I've done, I think I've done over 450 films. If I would say the films with my students, mine, and others. Yeah.
Moment of silence for you. We need to be clapping for you. Man. 450 movies?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm a producer.
And
As a producer, you can make so many films
course you
because
can
you,
do it.
you don't have to be involved in the technical work.
Yeah.
So you're involved in selecting the script that's being done. Then you're empowering the whole crew to make the movie. So your work is to get everything that's needed.
And this is all Kenyan movies or movies outside of Kenya as well?
Yeah, I've done outside Kenya. Last year, I just did my short film in Venice. Yeah, so I've done in several cities, different parts of the world.
And you do all genre, like action, comedy, drama, or you just pick one, you stick to
Okay,
one?
so yeah, I've done drama and then I've done psychological thrillers, which are my favorite. Yeah, I think I'm very biased when it comes to genres. I have my type of genre. I like something that challenges someone to think when they're watching the movie, something with a lot of suspense and surprise. Sometimes I like drama because drama is so easy, and I understand why we make movies. We make movies for entertainment. So
Yes.
sometimes you don't want to stress the people that you're talking to with too much serious stuff. So sometimes you just want to make drama or comedy, just make people laugh,
Yeah.
or just make people feel in love, or feel the spirit of a revenge, or something like that. So again, I'm a very business-minded filmmaker. So I'm not the kind of what you would say instinctive filmmaker who makes their passion project. I'm the kind of person who makes a strategic film. I make a film strategically. I would look at trending topics and see right now, it's a season of love. Let's release a short film. Let's make the theme love. Let's hear beautiful love stories from people and pick one and tell the story. So basically, I'm a very logical, I would say, quote unquote, filmmaker. I always know what I want, especially if I want to make a film for advocacy. Let's say during the 16 days of activism, I want to make sure I'm premiering a short film on either gender-based violence or something. When it's time for climate change, then I would think, okay, what short film can I do for that? Then my films are maximum 15 minutes. I've been very shy from making features, but fortunately enough, I'm just about to make my first feature. I got commissioned on December last year to make my first feature, which is actually in development, and we've gotten very good funding for that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So, out of all these movies you've done so far, right? Which is the one? Is that one movie you can mention that's your favorite?
I love Blessed by Sunlight that we just did. Actually, we did that movie in 2022. What I love is that we did this film in the Maasai land near Magadi. And actually, what amazes me about the movie is the story, because the story was about an albino girl being discriminated by her community. So we were able to create awareness on that, but it was also fun. It was like we took Maasai children who live in Amanyata, taught them how to act, and they acted so well, and their images went to 50 film festivals in the world. This film was selected for over 50 international film festivals. So I loved that project because of the impact it had on the community. And then last year, we made 3 short films with our Film Fupi Academy students, which is also a part of the programs I'm running. And this one, there was this film, 2 films. One was called Ifikie Governor, and the other one was called Maviting. I just
15.
loved these two films because they were like purely Islando, and the classes where our classes are in Eastlands. It's in Eastlands in Nairobi, and what stands out about Eastlands, one is the music. So if you listen to the back, the music score, it's all hip hop done in Eastlands. The movie in itself, the dialogues and everything is done in language, Islando's language. The issues they're addressing are issues that affect Islands, and then you find that the students went so much higher, like they were like addressing very heavy governance issues in a very funny and simple story, such that even if the governor was to watch, like for example, the Ifiki governor film, he would understand this film is asking you to handle the issue of dam site, which is causing cholera in the community. And this is the story was told in such a way that it's just told through the story of a young boy who got sick, got hospitalized with cholera, and how his family suffered around it, and how his brother decided to do something about it and created social media posts until the government did something. So it is very simple. That's my thing, very simple storytelling, addressing very complex issues, funny, because as always funny is good.
Yeah.
When you have funny, it's good, but then also good standard. What stands out about my films, I don't compromise on quality. We shoot 6K minimum. You want your film to be able to play in any movie theater in the world, so you have to keep up with the standard of sound, do 5-point sound, and do 6K. Work with good cinematographers, work with good industry professionals. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Oh my God, you're doing great, man.
Yeah.
But on the same tone, which is your least movie that you've done? Which is the one you don't like or you like the least?
Okay, yeah. There's a movie I did. It's my favorite, but I don't like the way I did it. Okay, it's called Just a Girl. Because first of all, I mixed languages, and then also I think I missed a beat in terms of research. So when I watched it again, even I couldn't believe what I was watching. So I felt very embarrassed because it looks good.
Yeah.
Actually, it was selected for Kalasha. It was nominated for Kalasha, but in my own opinion, when I looked at the film, I could tell, yes, it looks so much like fiction, but I was addressing a very serious issue that is FGM, and I should have been more serious with it.
Ah.
Yes, so sometimes what hurts me is when the story I want to tell gets distorted, I get very hurt by the story. So I end up hating the story. But if the story we want to tell is not distorted and is told in a very vulnerable way, I always feel proud of myself. So I would say, given a chance, I would reshoot that movie.
Oh, that's actually I was about to ask you. Can you reshoot the movie or just redo it?
Yeah, it's the problem was it was based in Italy, so I have to wait until I go back. But I don't want to do it this time because it also requires some costumes, and it requires you to have some extra black people on that set. Of which sometimes I always find myself to be the only black person in that festival, which is unfortunate, but we're trying to mobilize more people to attend such festivals so that we can be at par with the world. We want to do the same things the whole world is doing. That's why they're better than us in terms of what they're producing, because they keep networking and collaborating. I feel like for me, what has worked for me is collaboration and teamwork. In fact, I'm sure most people watch a lot of my films, but they don't know me. And that's basically my definition of a producer. A producer is invisible.
Yeah, it can be seen.
You just make your crew shine. Even like when you have awards, you don't go to pick the awards. Mostly I don't go. I'll send the director. But if you're selected for big festivals like Cannes, that's when I go, because I'll be in the Mash to film, trying to get people to give me money, and the directors will be on the red carpet. So we are on separate places. Our goals are totally different.
So obviously, making movies is pretty expensive. Wow, making films. Which is the most expensive you've done?
So right now, I'm making a film which is $1 million production
Ooh.
and $1 million distribution. So we got this
And this is in
funding
Kenya.
commissioned. Yeah, actually, I think we'll be the first Kenyan film company to get commissioning of that level. So we're partnering. I don't want to mention names because I have signed a non-disclosure, but it's an organization. It's based in Europe that gave us the money in December last year. They give us commissioning. So right now we're in development stage. And the most interesting thing, it's my first feature film. I always said I want to do my first feature film. I want it to stand out. I want it to be a masterpiece. I don't just want to make a film. I want a masterpiece. In what I mean is I want the production design to stand out. I want the cinematography to stand out, the editing, the effects, everything to stand out. But again, I'm very big on authenticity. So what I've done with this project and why I think it got funded, it's because I decided to pick every H or D for this film from a different African country. So I have a production designer from a different country. I have a director from Kenya. I have, assistant director from Nigeria. I have a writer from South Africa. So I did that deliberately because I want this film to be fully African, to represent the African culture because my organization is in Africa and it's empowering youths in Africa. And I feel like a film can bring African filmmakers together. And for me, it makes business sense as a producer because if I have 25 people from 25 different countries crewing in my movie, I'll be able to do 25 movie premieres in Africa and reach and exploit
Ooh, that is
the
huge.
African market.
Yes.
So for me, I believe that inter-country, intra-Africa collaboration is quite an important thing that we really need to champion. And that's why my organization, Youth Film Platform Africa, is also about Africa, bringing Africa together, bringing African filmmakers together, giving them the capacity to do what they can do. So basically, that's one thing. And also my wide travel experience showed me where to go for funding. But the biggest breakthrough I had was just having a mentor who told me, Rachel, we do not, let me tell you how it happened. So I went to visit one of my mentors. They own the biggest house in Kenya. It's like, and when I say this, I know people are going to know who it is. It's fine. So
The biggest house in Kenya?
the most famous house it's called the Honeymoon House.
Oh,
You
the
can
honeymoon.
Google.
That's the biggest house in Kenya.
Yeah, it's big.
I thought the biggest
a
house in
palace.
Kenya is probably the one Ruto is building.
No. I'm talking about a real big house. It's like a castle. It looks like a castle. I stayed there, so I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And it's these guys actually they are from here. They also own the Invisible House. I don't know whether you've ever heard of it.
No.
Yeah, so the Invisible House is in Los Angeles. Yeah, people like Rihanna, other people have shot their videos there. It's like basically you can't see. It's in the desert, but you can't see. It's a house. But when you enter, it's a very big house. That's why it's called the Invisible House. So the same person who did that house, he built the Honeymoon House and he has like 5 of the most famous houses worldwide. Like he has built very nice houses in different cities, including Venice and Kenya. So I went to meet them and then they were asking me about my work and everything. So we used to meet. I remember when I went to visit their house, because it's so big, you don't see each other. So we had one rule. So we had to meet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We had to eat together. So the people who were serving in that house used to come and call me, "Hi, madam, come for lunch. It's time for dinner." So during those conversations, we used to talk. And they asked me, "What do you want most?" I said, "I want mentorship. I know I can ask you for money, I can ask you for other things, but what I want is mentorship. Teach me how to do this thing called film. I have done this for 17 years and I feel very frustrated because I don't get the funds." So I told them, show me your ways. Then they said, "Okay, do you have a project that you want to do?" "Yeah, let's show you practically. Which project do you want to do? Send it to us. Let's have that time I'm living in their house, remember? So I sent them the script. They looked at it. They said, "This script looks very bad. It's not very well done." But the idea is good. Yeah, I suggest that if you can want to edit it. And also, do you have a teaser? I said, I don't have a teaser. They said, are you ready to spend money to do a good teaser? I said, I will try. I had to bring the lead actor from Nigeria, Greg Ojefwa, just for a teaser, to shoot a teaser. And I ended up spending 1.2 million Kenyan shillings just to shoot a teaser.
Just a teaser.
A teaser.
1.2.
Yeah, of
Yo.
5 minutes. And I shot with my students, so I didn't even pay most of the bills because my students, I was not like paying them, but like I had smoke machine, I had all this nice lighting. I rented a very big house in Syokimau, which was our location, to shoot this so that it can come out well. So this teaser, my mentors took it. Then they went with it to Cannes. They pitched in Cannes Film Festival. You know, for them, they have the access I don't have. Let me tell you about Cannes Film Festival, because the first time I went to Cannes, it was actually, people call it Cannes, so let me call it Cannes. The first time I went to Cannes was in 2013. I went taking photos in the red carpet, my friend, forgetting that this is the biggest film market in the world. I would be there inside in the market, trying to sell my project and getting people to fund my film. I didn't know that. I knew that after I have already wasted myself in 2013. So when I got a chance to go back 2 times, I never even cared about which movie is premiering on the red carpet. I was in the market. So I learned the roots. But in Cannes, how it works, you won't survive if you're a nobody. One, if you're invited to your yacht party, you're expected to pay 40,000 euros a night.
Jeez.
That's expensive.
That is super expensive.
Yeah, if you want to walk with these people who can give you money on the red carpet, you have to pay 10,000 euros. That's more than 1 million. How many Kenyans would afford that?
Not too many.
So if you want to go and meet, like, let's say Rihanna, Kendall Jenner, those kind of people, you've got to go to a VIP bar in the evening. VIP bar, 1 cup of tea is 500,000, 500,000 Kenyan shillings. So you won't be able to get in there.
What?
So this is what having a mentor helped me with.
Yeah.
My mentor can afford that. So that's their circle. They know these guys. So they went with my script. They pitched my script on my behalf. Because of the trust they have and the fact that they've done very big productions before, they've employed Sofia Coppola as their director and other people. Basically, they were trusted. And because of their trust, what I did, I talked to them and I told them, pick the distribution money, I pick the production money. So we did a movie budget of $2 million. I told them, you pick the distribution budget. When you finish this film, you distribute it. I'll pick the production. So that was an incentive for them. Because we are taking 50-50 and they don't have to do the donkey work. I'll do the donkey work because I have to do this production.
Yeah.
And then they will just pick it, sell it, and make a lot of profits.
Yeah.
So it was a very good incentive for them, and they took it. And they went and sold this project with their life. And that's how they met this Senegalese guy who had this funding. He had like 100 million USD to donate to African films.
100 M.
Yeah. So he was looking at projects. We were told how to submit. We submitted. But let me tell you, Mina, it took me 4 years to comply. You know, that's another thing that's disturbing us in Kenya. We don't really know how to do film business. So you find you've registered your organization, but Bado, you know, you're not doing good because, first of all, you're not filing taxes. You don't have a certificate of tax exemption. These donors, they work with systems. They tell you, you want us to give you money? Go and log into this system and submit all the documents that you want. So if you don't have a registered company, you're out. If you've not been filing the tax returns for 5 years, you're out. How can you be receiving $1 million and you've never even paid taxes? Are you getting?
Yes.
So it took me 4 years to comply with the terms and conditions that these guys needed for me to get this funding. So that's what I was able to do by last year, December. I went to Paris for a week. We signed the MOU and the contract, and now they're going to start. Actually, we've already started development. They already dispersed funds for development, so we're going stage by stage. And these funders can withdraw money at any time because they will give you the first stage. If you mess up the first stage, they won't give you the second and the third. They're
Of course,
managing
yeah.
their risk.
Yeah, they're losing money.
And we're talking about insurance. Imagine somebody asking you, do you have equipment insurance? Do you have film insurance? Then you come to Kenya and you find Kenya does not have film insurance. No company is offering it. So then you have to look for...
Why?
No company offers that. I don't know
So it's
why.
not a thing in Kenya.
It's not a thing. But you find now the person giving you the money is not a Kenyan. All right? They don't care. If they want that insurance, you've got to have it. They don't care about your constitution. They don't care about anything. So the thing is, you have to go out of your way, go and look, where am I going to get this insurance?
Insurance, yeah.
Because if I don't have it, this is gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
$1 million gone.
It's gone. So is this the reason why our film industry in Kenya struggles?
Yes, because I feel like our film industry is full of hobby filmmakers. Hobby filmmaking will never take you anywhere. And I think we were having an offline conversation when we were in the car.
Yeah.
And I was saying, I have a problem with Kenyans when it comes to feeling like when you talk about your work or when you're marketing your work, it's like you're bragging. No. I just took a beautiful video of your car and posted it on Facebook. It has attracted people to know that we're doing this podcast. And that's good.
Yeah.
Because this is business. We are here for serious business.
Yes, marketing.
And marketing. You need to market yourself. So Kenyans, I think it's our culture. We're very shy. And Africans in general. We are very shy. Look at Egypt. They discovered fire.
Yes.
But who took the credit? A European.
Of course.
We discovered all these things, even light bulbs. There's evidence. It shows you. But Thomas Edison takes the credit.
Yeah, we don't have any credits. Yeah.
So you find Africans are very shy about taking credit. And that's why you find even our lakes, like Lake Victoria, is still called Lake Victoria today, over 50 years after independence. But that lake had a name, a Kenyan name. Yeah. But it will forever be called Lake Victoria because we Africans, we do not like owning what we own. Owning our success is a problem for us. And I feel that we need a change of mindset as African people, and it's not our fault. We were colonized, and when these colonizers came to our continent, they didn't colonize us in person. They colonized our minds. So what happened? When our parents got colonized in their minds, they passed over that to many generations. We started thinking, the white man is better than me. No, I am a boss to white people. Today, I have some
Amen
people
to that.
in my staff
Amen
who
to
are
that.
white. And I'll tell you, I can even show you, even if you go to www.youthfilmplatformafrica.com, look at our team profile, and you'll see like 3 white people from different countries who are working for us, an organization that I founded. Okay? Because it's not about your color. And it doesn't have to do anything with your color. It's just you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And you just have to change the narrative. Africans need to step it up in terms of, like, think local, but do business globally. Film is a global business.
I like that. But now, on that part, when you just mentioned, we know it's like we're shy to own our own. Who do we blame? Because now, if we have leaders, right? Because now they have power now.
Yeah.
Don't you think they can make a difference?
I think it is us. We blame every individual Kenyan. Because if you look at the way our country is going, everything that's happening, the source of that thing that is happening is the Kenyan people. The Kenyan people are the responsible for electing their leaders. So they actually put every leader we have right now was put in office by the Kenyan people, right? The same Kenyan people are the same people who are not researching, going out there to do their things, because Hollywood was founded by a private person. The whole Hollywood was not built by government. In fact, the government came through when they found out that film is a good place to bring them money. Of course, the government is just like any other investor. They will stay on the sidelines until they see a tangible evidence that they can make money. Government does not take chances. They'll not invest in somebody who's not even investing in themselves. That's why I always tell my fellow filmmakers, let's try to build our industry a little bit. In that, we want to have can you imagine a movie like Nairobi Half-Life? I always talk about it.
Oh, that movie is good.
It's good.
Yes, I like
It was
it.
done, and Tosh did a fantastic job in
Yes.
team.
Oh,
so,
marvelous.
but I don't know whether you know this. That movie had a budget of 60 million.
60
million
shillings or dollars.
shillings.
Okay.
But that's still a lot in
Oh,
Kenyan.
of course it
in
is.
Kenyan
That's a lot of
currency,
money. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
And they barely paid people because you see, this was
They barely paid people?
because it was like a class project. It was a student project. This was done by one Fine Day Films, and it's like a master class, like a boot camp where you go to learn how to make films. And even Tosh was a
Internship.
student. Yeah, even Tosh was a student when he was directing that. He was a member of the One Fine Day Films. But let me tell you something.
Wait,
Nairobi-
so they pocket all the money?
No, not the pocket. They used it to shoot. But let me tell you, 60 million is very little money to make a good film. Because remember, they're traveling to different areas, they're paying accommodation, transport. So you find all this money will go to logistics. But then,
So
even
roughly, like on that show, because they had 60 million, how much do you think they needed? Over 100?
yeah, I think they needed
Or twice
because
the amount?
towards the end, if you look at how it ends at this guy going to the National Theatre. I don't think that's what they wanted.
Yeah, that's
I don't
not
know.
the end. Yeah.
Yeah, so you find they had to do a quick ending because, of course, the budget. And because they were going to different cities, they had gunshots, they had to get an armorer on set. I'm sure they needed multiple permits, and they had to pay taxis, they had to pay medics. And I know they had to have a crew of like about 150 to 200 people. So paying all these people, shooting this thing in different towns is a nightmare. Me being a producer, I can tell you that. So you find that should be the movie that should have sold the best, so that then we can have a blueprint to say this is the best-selling Kenyan movie, because it was a really good movie. That's where I have an issue with our industry. So, but what happened? After selling this movie, they only got 7 million. You know? So the big question is, which Kenyan movie can you tell me today that the amount of money the producers invested in that film, the film broke even, okay? And then the film made a big profit. We don't have that example. Nigerians do have, South Africans do have. TV series, Eugene Bugwa and team, they're doing a fantastic job. They're making a profit.
What about the movement, the ones Abel Motu and his crew that they're doing?
They're doing.
Because that's so.
But if you listen even to Phil, even he did a CTA interview, he'll tell you he never knew he will become poor because of becoming a filmmaker. That's what he started by saying. Because you
He say that lately?
Yeah,
I mean, recently?
just check Cleaning the Airwaves interview.
Because the last one they did is, I thought they made a huge profit.
They didn't.
They didn't?
It doesn't make, no Kenyan movie has made a huge profit. Yes, you can make money, but it depends with how much money you put in. And one of the mistakes we make in Kenya is you're supposed to have your distribution budget and your production budget.
Yeah,
You
separate.
find most of us, when you're budgeting, we budget for the production
Yes,
budget, we
that's
forget
always
to budget for the distribution.
Yeah.
So what this means, because let me give you a good example. Titanic, the film Titanic was shot with, that's why it's called the $200 million shot. It had a budget of $200 million. So with this budget of $200 million, they also had another budget of $200 million for distribution. So typically, if you go to the studios, what they do, if your budget is $1 million, they'll keep another $1 million for marketing, so that the film then can be watched by people and bring money.
Yes.
So you find the reasons why our films are not making money. Somebody has budgeted for production, you do a very good quality production, but then you don't have money for distribution. Distribution means taking flights,
Yes.
catching flights to go and screen your film in Los Angeles, go screen your film in Sundance, in Cannes. That's money. You don't have it. Where is your film going to go? On Film Freeway, if you want to be selected in a good festival, you have to pay. So the thing is, our producers need to start now learning that, yes, it's very good to be good in film techniques, to be good as a production designer, director, but it's also good to be good in film business. Film business is what will save you, because film business will teach you how to find the money, how to manage the money, how to multiply the money.
I think that's what we're lacking the most.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's our
Yeah.
biggest challenge right there.
Yeah.
And first of all, even Ray coming up with that money, it's already an issue.
It's already an issue, and that's why we have very low quality films, because you
Yes.
find, can I give you an example? There's so many fans. That's why I even came up with a class called Spark the Story Masterclass. Currently, I have like 40 producers from different countries in Africa. I'm training online. And what I did with them, I told them, first of all, submit for me your director's statement, submit your budget. Then I show them, this is not how you do a budget. You do a top sheet, you do your balance sheet. People want to see your capacity. They want to see, you're asking me for $1 million. How much money have you ever touched with your account? First of all, you as a company. Okay? Maybe the most money you've touched with your company is 200,000. But why are you asking for $1 million? You don't have the capacity to handle $1 million. So if you don't have the capacity to handle $1 million, just find a partner who has the capacity. For example, if I now am handling $1 million, I'm a good partner for a young producer who still wants to fundraise $1 million. They can come through me and they can get funded that $1 million because I have the documentation that can prove that I can handle $1 million. Otherwise, some people just really like your idea, but they see that you're not fundable. They see your business is too small to handle that amount of money, and they tell you, go. And that's what I was telling you about my mentors. My mentors told me, we don't deal with any projects below $1 million. Can you imagine that? So I was telling them, I need 10 million Kenyan shillings. They said, that one, just look for other people. As we don't work on any project below $1 million.
That statement you just say right now, that is huge, because in Africa, I mean, okay, I don't want to say the whole Africa, but let me just say
Yeah.
Kenya. Yeah. We technically we make small movies, small budgets, so we're not even hitting $1 million. You know what I mean? And then I guess that's why those movies just go nowhere. They just die.
Of course.
Oh, the dream dies before even it starts. You know what I mean? Because like you just mentioned, nobody was gonna take that chance. Like,
And also think about this. Do you know why our viewers don't watch our movies? Imagine coming to tell me a story that I already know. You understand?
yeah,
You're making a local story. It's for a global audience.
yeah,
Someone else will appreciate your story better than a person who sees that story happening every day, because it's like you're repeating. You know, film is a mirror of society.
it's true.
So if you tell people, like, you make a movie with Luo accent, you know, this nice Luo accent, the Luos in Kenya won't appreciate it.
Of course,
But if you
somebody
take
else,
that movie to Tanzania
gonna
or
love
to another country, people will love it.
yeah, but don't you think that happens because of, again, the small budget they have?
Of course. And that's where we get wrong, because you find that a filmmaker wants to make a film, but what happens? You want to make a film, but you don't even have a business plan. For me, in fact, when I start my year, I start with a business plan. How many movies do I want to make? How many short films? How many features? How am I going to make them? So, for instance, in Kenya, fundraising for films is very hard. So what I do, I have a trick that I use. So Youth Film Platform Africa is a film school, but our motto is learn how to make a film by making a film, right? So this is an opportunity for me to make films with my students.
Yeah.
So what I do, because I get grant funding, so I'll write all the grant proposals to the different embassies. They'll give me the grants, but the grants, in the grant budget, there will be money to make the films to give the students the practical. Then I'll make my film, and it will be well funded. It will employ people in the community, and it will employ everyone. You get? But now it's even better, because it starts with training, ends with a production.
Oh, I like
So you
that.
kill two birds with one stone. You
Yes.
empower these people. You give them title credits on a production.
Yes.
And just to say, I'm not doing this out of the blues. I did my research. Every year, New York Film Academy produces 25,000 films by their students. If you want to compete at that level, at least you've got to make 2 films in your school, or 3
Yeah.
per year.
Yeah.
At least you want to be somewhere. You want your students to be somewhere in the industry with practical knowledge that they can use in the industry. So it's very important that then we stop being mediocre. We really take this seriously. Film is big. Like right now, we're talking in Nigeria. Nigeria right now, film is the second greatest contributor to the GDP of Nigeria. Remember, Nigeria has gold,
Yes.
has oil,
Yes.
has all these things.
Yes.
but film is the second greatest contributor to their GDP.
I like what you're saying right now, but let's compare the two, Nigeria and Kenya. In Kenya, remember, we come from a society where our parents didn't believe in entertainment. You know what I mean? If you also tell your parent, I want to do movies, I want to be a movie actor, they're looking at you crazy, like, what are you talking about? That's not our thing.
Yeah.
Who do you
But
know
even
is
Nigeria is the same culture.
no, but Nigerians, there's something about Nigerians. Nigerians actors are well respected. You'll see a politician in Nigeria, they will stop for an actor. They give you that much respect.
Can I tell you why? Because Nigeria started from where we are. They started from where we are. They proved that the film can make money. And let me tell you something. It's just like the normal life. Right now, if you don't have money, do you have a say? Even in church,
Oh no.
you don't have
You
a
have
say.
nothing, yeah.
So Nigeria, what they've done, they built an industry from scratch. They started by making movies like that are worse than films that you can make with your phone. They came up with a proper genius distribution strategy. They started making money. When they started making money, it became a sensation. And how they were able to sell is because Nigerians don't overcomplicate their stories. If you look at Nigerian stories, they know people are curious about witchcraft. They'll give you a story about witchcraft, about people turning into snakes. They'll waste a Nigerian director will waste 5 minutes of your time by putting an actor in a car. The actor will be driving in the whole of Lagos, and no big incident is happening in a car. It's just to waste time so that they can be able to get the 60 minutes movie. They're shooting that movie within 2 days. They have a feature film. So they never overcomplicate the process. Then number two, Nigeria, what they did, I think some people sat down, they decided to brand all the entertainment industries at the same time. If you realize, Akina, Davido, and others, even in the music and other spaces, they all grew at once. They started magazines, they started red carpet, and Nigerians, what has saved them from other African countries? Nigerians are not shy to
And they
boast.
support each other.
They're not shy to market themselves, if you've ever known.
Yeah.
Nigerian will show you his Lexus. They will show you what their house looks like. They will show you their achievement. So Nigerians really brag about their achievements. They brag about their pidgin English. If you notice, pidgin English is not taken as a bad accent.
No.
But you notice Swahili is taken as a very remote thing.
Yeah.
Because the countries that speak Swahili are not proud of Swahili in such a way that it can make Swahili a very international language. But you find Nigerians will speak their pidgin English wherever they go.
Yeah.
Even here in the US, if you want to know a Nigerian, just talk to them. They'll speak to you in pidgin English.
Very true.
And when they speak to you in pidgin English, that makes them authentic. It gives them an identity. In Kenya, for example, right now, people are speaking like Americans.
Yes.
People are speaking like British.
I hate that.
You get the point?
Yes.
So you're speaking an accent which is not yours.
Yes.
You're trying to fake it. Even actors, when you employ them on your set, they come and try to fake the accent. You know, that's what Mama Kaye was talking about, being fake.
Yes.
People are so fake.
Authenticity, we don't have it.
We have a lot of fake actors, and that's why you see Kenyans, people are even committing suicide. Because you find, you go on a film set or a TV set, you're paid good money. Like the people who are starring in this MTV Sugar and stuff. You leave that set, you have like 5 million. Instead of buying a house, what do? You go drink all that money, you move to an apartment in Kileleshwa. Okay? Then you eat all that money, forgetting that film does not come every day. It may take you 2 years to get your next project, or 1 year.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of financial literacy needs to be done, and also business.
Yeah.
Just entrepreneurship skills.
Yes.
Kenya has the best quality filmmakers. Like in terms of technical work, they're really good. But with all that talent, they're frustrated because of the business part.
So I guess this is
And
something.
I don't mean they. Let me
Us.
rephrase that. I mean we.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we should first of all change our Kenyan people mindset. You know
Of
what I mean? Because we want Kenyans to believe in our own.
Yeah.
Most of the time you'll see there's no support coming from Kenyans because they think like, come on, man, that movie's gonna be trash. Ain't no way it's gonna be. It's not gonna be something authentic. You know what I mean? So already we're losing the support coming from our own.
But you see, Kenyan filmmakers again, this is something that somebody said on a panel. I don't want to claim it as my own. And this was a viewer. I was in a podcast before I came here, and somebody said, Kenyan producers make a movie, then they invite fellow filmmakers to the movie premiere. So they make movies for themselves. The movie is not for filmmakers to watch. You need to know your audience.
Yeah.
So let me give you a good example. We just launched our program in Kinoni in Uganda. It's a rural village. So we've always done our programs in urban areas. So this is very unique for us. But you know what? As I walked into that street of Kinoni, I saw an opportunity. First of all, that place, everybody knows each other. They're so proud of their coffee and rural area houses and everything. So I was launching this program called Story Shapers. It's one of our programs. So the Story Shapers is about to make stories in the rural areas of Kinoni. So I went and told my students, this is what you're going to do. You're going to use the houses in this community. You're going to shoot in those houses. You're going to use the cars that belong to people that are known in this community. You're going to pick actors and boda operators and other people from this community. You're going to pick everything from this community. Then we are going to go to charge people to come and see their houses and see on the film.
Yeah.
And people are going to pay. People are going to pay, especially in the rural areas. People forget that actually the rural areas can buy films more because they don't have this luxury of watching Netflix
Very
in
true.
their houses.
Yeah.
So when you go with a big screen, they will all come out. They'll say, oh, so-and-so is featuring.
Yeah.
That boda operator is featuring the film. Let me come and see him.
Yeah.
And if you charge them 100 bob, they will all pay.
They will pay.
They'll all pay each
The
100.
excitement is there.
So I feel like we also need to be adventurous, understand the audience we are dealing with, give them the right price for the movie. Don't go to Kinoni, which is a rural area, and decide to premiere the movie in a theater. There's not even a theater in Kinoni. Don't make a movie there, then go take it to a movie theater. Just show it to the same community. I learned this from Italy. Show it where you shot it, because people can relate with your story better. They can see their house. They can see someone they know.
Yes.
They can see a road they know in the movie.
Yeah.
And that really is exciting. You can see yourself in the movie. That's why most of us really appreciated Nairobi Half-Life.
Yep.
Because we could see ourselves.
Yep.
We could see the Machakos country bus.
Yeah.
Could see something that we know and we identify. We could see the downtown. And if Kenyans learned just that one thing, I think our stories will really reach the audience and the audience will pay for them. Because the audience just want authenticity. For example, I'll give you one of the shows I've criticized the most. And it's okay. It's called Crime and Justice. Actually, it's done by my friend and I know he's going to kill me. But this is my criticism of that. If you listen to the dialogues in Crime and Justice, then you go and watch Chicago PD. It's copy-pasting. You go and watch Chicago PD, then you pick it and try to give it to Sarah Hassan to say. That's not right. That's not justice. That's not authentic. What we want you to do is come up with an authentic
It's your own.
Kenyan script, tell an authentic Kenyan story, and tell it for the audience you're telling it for. If you're making a movie that you want to show the women in the market, make it simple. Don't put a lot of budget on it. Make sure you include some market women that they know so that they can laugh inside the movie. So movie is business. And if you don't think strategically as a producer, you're going to make losses because you're making the wrong movie for the wrong audience.
That's true.
And that's why the audience will not buy. So if you're making a movie for somebody in Nairobi, somebody who lives in the city who watches Netflix, better make a high quality movie. Also, show them their life. Show them their day-to-day life. You know, if you're making a movie about a lawyer who's single and looking for a husband and she's frustrated, then show us the life of this lawyer as according to how single people are suffering in this Nairobi.
Yes.
Show us that husband. Don't show us the husband in the US. Show us the husband in Kenya.
In Kenya, yeah. You know, like in America when they make movies, they usually let's use the same example like you just mentioned. You know, it's a woman looking for a husband, right? They go and study that woman. They spend time with her. They learn everything, her daily activities. So when they bring that character into the screen, it looks original.
You want to watch it.
Yeah, people can relate to that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's something that happens in Kenya. People just probably, like you mentioned, you just watch an episode on a show in America and be like, okay, that's what they're doing. Let's just do the same thing, copy paste.
Yeah.
And
And when I go to Netflix, I don't look at this is a Kenyan movie, this is a South African. No, I look for the best production. I look for the most watched film. I look for the most reviewed film. And if your film is not there, I'm sorry, I'm Kenyan, but I'm not buying it. Period. Why is it not there? Even mine, when I just released this movie, if it's going to go on Netflix, it better be competitive on a global level. Netflix is not a Kenyan platform.
Yeah.
It's a global platform.
Yeah.
So think twice before you take your movie to Netflix. If your movie is not on the standard of Netflix, or maybe your movie has been censored to Netflix for Africa, of course, if you find that your movie is only on Netflix for Africa, it means already the quality is low.
Yes.
So they're just giving the lower quality to the Africans. If your movie is on Netflix global, now that is good. It means you meet the quality standards of competing globally. But then we really need to think about that globalization of our content. To be honest, we need to take somebody like Mama Kayae, put her in a local production, take that local production to global. Show them this is how our mothers behave. This is how our mothers and fathers in Gen X used to date.
Yes.
This is how they used to show each other love.
Yes.
In millennials, this is what they do. In Gen Z, this is what they do. So it's just like we just need to own our stories and stop with all this thing of copy pasting.
I agree with you, but there's just something about America that everybody just tend to follow, copy from here, and it's not like our story sucks.
I think it's because we lack confidence. I speak confidence a lot because if you have confidence in your country, in your culture, and everything, in fact, I think this is the first place I've come without carrying. Even right now, I'm wearing a Kenyan dress. It's done, tie and dye, Kenyan. I always love to represent. I'm proud of my country. I'm not embarrassed.
I'm proud
not
with you.
Sorry.
That's why I'm rocking.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm never sorry to be a Kenyan. In fact, I would not choose, even if I would die today and be reborn tomorrow, I would still choose Kenya.
Come back as a Kenyan, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm right
I
with
wouldn't
you.
choose
Yes.
America for... Yeah, I wouldn't choose any other nationality. I
Yes.
love my country, Kenya.
America
We have
to the
our own
world.
challenges, but there's just something about Kenya that
I agree.
is so beautiful. Kenyan people, just Kenya as it is just like a movie set on its own. It's a wonder. And I love it. And there's a brilliance in Kenyan people that is there. The only thing we need to work on is confidence. And I understand where the confidence problem started. Because we were colonized, remember? And that's why you find Ethiopians are very confident because they never had to deal with colonialists telling them that they're not enough.
Yes.
And you know, that trauma that our parents were given, our grandparents, they passed it over to their children
Yep.
and their children's children. This is the first time I'm seeing redemption of Africa because the Gen Zs
I'm refusing.
are refusing that.
Yeah.
And I think our hope is the Gen Zs.
I agree. You know, it's crazy you just say that because there's a time I went to visit Kenya and I met this set of parents. They were teaching their kids only to speak English. They were like, you can't speak Swahili. And they live in Kenya. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is Kenya. Our national language is Swahili. Why will they not speak Swahili? It's like, nah, man, Swahili is not that cool. We need English. It's
And
like,
even in schools, they say they teach in English. Why is the teacher teaching in English? But I feel so offended because when I go to Italy, I have to work with Google Translate. Why can't all these other countries work with Google Translate
to understand us.
in our country,
Yes.
trying to understand what we are saying?
Yeah.
In Ethiopia, everybody's speaking Amharic, and it's very hard for you to hear even what they're saying. But what do? You have to work with a translator.
Yes.
Whether you understand what they say, they don't care.
That's your problem.
It's
Yeah.
because they were not colonized. And let me tell you, the saddest thing that people don't talk about colonization of the mind, it has affected us to date. We have people in Kenya. Do you know we have 99% of the population believing that being employed is the way to go?
Yeah.
If you ask a child, go to any Kenya school right now, ask children what they want to become. They tell you, I want to be a pilot. A pilot is an employee. I want to be an engineer, an employee, an accountant, a lawyer, they'll tell you things that are not actually, they don't make them bosses.
That's
They make
very
them
true.
employees.
It's funny you say that because I was experiencing the same thing. I was watching an African parent coaching their kids, and I'm watching an American, and an American is telling their kids, "I want you to grow to be all you can be."
Exactly.
There's no specifics.
I want you to be to launch the biggest AI
Yes.
software in this planet.
You can be anything.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yes, you can do it.
But in Kenya,
on
you
our
want
part,
somebody.
yeah, it's just like you mentioned. You have to be a doctor. You have to be a nurse. You have. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're gonna be employed.
And majority of them are not successful because they just doing careers that don't challenge them. So they in a comfort zone, they have a salary at the end of the month, which they think is big. Even if you're being paid 800,000, a million per month, you'll never compete with an entrepreneur who's starting their own thing. That entrepreneur actually has an opportunity to sleep today. You know, a person who has 200,000 shillings in their bank account, wake up tomorrow a billionaire.
That's
We've
very
seen
true.
it with Rihanna.
Yes.
We've seen it with Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
People who are daring, they just start a brand and it thrives.
Yes.
So I think as Africans, and this is one thing, people tell me I'm very overconfident. Yes, I am. Oh
But
my God.
don't you
I'm
think
so confident.
the worry comes from people feel like we don't support each other? So
I
it's
just
like, why
feel
should I
like,
start my business? There's no support.
but I also feel like it all originates from that same problem of lacking confidence. You know, when you lack confidence, you have a low self-esteem. You start overthinking. You start thinking, hey, Lemmy is undermining me. Oh, Mama Kaya is doing this to me. But in the real sense, those people are not even interested with you. They're not even thinking about you.
Very true.
But when you have confidence, you don't have
Doesn't
time
matter.
for nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, you have time for focus. And then secondly, you speak about your country nicely. You speak about yourself with confidence. You don't sabotage yourself. We have a lot of Africans sabotaging themselves.
True.
Saying, you know, I can't do this. You know, only a white man can do this. What do you mean? Why? What can? And I'm not being racist. I'm just saying the truth of what Africans say. I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. In fact, I have a lot of very nice, my closest friends who are white. And one of them is called Peter Populon, back from Sweden. So when he comes to visit me, he always wonders, because when we're driving together, and he's a very humble guy. So we're driving together, and these kids will be all over the road saying, Mzungu, Mzungu, Mzungu. But when we come to Europe or we go to America, do you hear the white guys saying,
Africa.
Mwafrika, Mwafrika, Mwafrika? No. They don't even notice us.
Yeah.
Because that's not an issue for them. In fact, I always say Africans are the worst racist because they will look at the color of your skin and decide how to treat you, whether to treat you with respect or not to treat you with respect, instead of treating you for who you are as a human being. It doesn't matter whether you're Asian, whether you're red, whether you're brown, whether you're white. I mean, it doesn't matter. That's not the thing. The thing is, you're human, you have a high potential, and we are over 7 billion people in this planet, and everyone has their own purpose. So we need each other. But the thing is, can you imagine all the people in the developing country are suffering from lack of confidence? And then all the people in the developed countries want to make sure that the people in the developing countries stay without confidence. Because if these guys in the developing country get the confidence they need to own up their successes, these guys are done.
Yeah.
They will no longer be developed. So there's a lot of politics that goes on in the world. I just pray that my continent that I love so much, and I'm a big Pan-Africanist, I believe in Africa, and I don't only believe in Africa, I believe Africa is the best continent in the world in terms of the brains and everything. And that's why they don't block Africans from coming to any developed countries, because Africans will come and build your economy. They're very smart. If they're just given the confidence they need, that's the way they do. And that's why you find someone like you have the confidence because you're living in the most powerful nation in the world. You've grown up in that most powerful nation. You are a different African. When you go back home, you find that there's a difference. The difference is in the confidence. So if we can only believe in ourselves a bit more, like the way we believe in our athletes, that's what I would say. If I was to give you guys an example, I would say, when Kenyans get on the field to run 1,500,
I've seen those.
we already know Faith Kipyegon is going to win.
Yeah, that's ours.
Why can't we have that confidence about ourselves in everything? In innovation, in science, in art? Why can't we have the same kind of confidence in film? Why can't we have the same kind of confidence in medical, creating medical solutions? Somebody told me with a condition that I have that if I'm in the US, it would have been done. I wouldn't be having it. But because I'm in a developing country where people don't even want to think about solutions to their own healthcare, and all that. I continue suffering. You find even like people who have some certain complications, they have to go to India,
Yes.
or they have to go to US,
Yes.
or to another country. They have to changa to go there. Why do we need that? Well, some of the best doctors,
And
just
right
check,
there.
are from Africa.
Yes. Yes. You know, yeah, you were speaking the same thing. Why, and that's based on the reasons why I have this platform. Because I was having a hard time. If you live in America, and you'll notice most of Chinese people, when they come in America and they study and they do all the whatever they need to do in America, they usually leave after they get their degree. They go back to China.
Yeah.
But us, when we get here, after we get our degree, the first thing we do, buy a house, buy a car, start a family. That's it. We settle. There's no going back home. And some of these people, when you ask them, it's like me going back where I came from. Oh, hell no.
Because there's no confidence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, it's like, oh, we just came from hell. I'm not going back over there. It's
And
like,
you
but
know
that's
what you
home.
continue doing? Continue building another person's country.
Facts. Yeah.
Neglecting your own home, your own motherland, where your ancestors fought for your freedom.
Yes.
And that's why I said I'll never immigrate to any country ever in my life.
I'm with you with that one. Because even when you have conversation with people who an American, they'll always remind you, hey, where you from?
Yeah.
Where's home?
Yeah.
So already they showed
is
you,
not your
this
home.
is not your home. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many houses you have over here. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't belong here, my guy. Where is home? So
And even when it comes to prioritizing, I was in the airport the other day with Mama Kai, and you'll see that even when they start prioritizing, they'll prioritize their own American.
Yeah.
Not even the green card Americans.
No.
Yeah.
Their own. It's like,
Yeah.
yo,
And that's why I'm saying, why can't you just come back home? You've gotten the skills and the confidence you need. Bring the innovation back home. Let's build our own. Because I'm telling you, if we'll both be alive by 2050, Africa will be the most developed continent in the world.
yeah, I'm hoping for that. And I'm vouching for us Africans to move back home.
Yeah.
I want us to take our talent back home. You know, they have this thing right now that people are fighting with each other online about trust. It's like, why would I want to go home and build something or start anything? I don't trust these people. They're going to steal from me. But I'm like, if all of us, because we believe in trust now, the ones over here, if we go over there, we're going to change things.
And you can
Numbers
go and
make
build
a
for
difference.
yourself.
Yes.
You can go and build for yourself. You can take 4 months off, or 1 year off. Just go build your house and come back. But US people don't want that. And you know why?
It's a bunch
the
of
Kenyans in the
excuses.
US is one. Kenyans in the US are here because they're in their comfort zone in a way. Because what they do, you see, they get a lot of money.
Of course, there's a
Because
check
you're
coming
paid in dollars.
Yeah, there's a check coming
So they
in.
have they're on their comfort zone. They don't want to go back home because home it will be harder for them to look for money.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree to that. And once we change the dollars into shillings, yes, yeah, you got more money, so life is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you go over, but you can always do it. They say, I mean, okay, how about this? You can find a job. Right now, they have online jobs. You can go to Kenya or any other African country, live there, and get paid in dollars.
Of course.
You can work from
I'm being
online.
paid by a US company at night.
See, you're an
I
example
work
of that.
at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get paid in dollars for that work I do, although it's a lot of work. But that's the money I used to invest. I used to do extra things for myself because if I have to survive on one job, it will be too difficult for me because I'm running my own company. I have staff and all that. So I have to also be proactive and also look for exposure. I think for me, what has saved me, the fact that I've never immigrated to another country, but I've been traveling. So when I travel, I go to Italy, I learn something. I go to France, I learn something. I go to Dubai, I learn something. I come to US, I learn something. I take all that knowledge that I get from my travels, I take it back home. Like right now, one of the biggest takeaways is how to have my podcast studio in my house and just talk. And that's amazing. And I can imagine how much we can do if we continue telling our own stories everywhere.
Yeah. A lot can happen because this conversation we're having right now is going to bring a change.
Yeah.
Because of course it's going worldwide. Everybody will get to watch it. I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people get to watch it, and we're hoping it's going to bring change into our mindset.
Yeah.
Because as soon as people change their mind, I'm telling you, we out of here.
The freedom you get when you change your mindset, people think you're crazy. People think you're overconfident. I've walked in rooms, I've sat with presidents, starting with the president of the most powerful nation in the world, the former president, Barack Obama. Sitting with presidents in the same room, you have to have confidence. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you believe in yourself. You've got if you get a seat, my friend, you've got to have confidence. So if you don't get anything from me today, get this. If you're not confident, you're not going anywhere. So you don't have an option. Just be confident. Whenever you start something, even if it's small, market it like it's the biggest idea in the world. That's what I always do. And that's why you find we came here and I've really amplified this visit. And you find even somebody on the ground can say, hey, Rachel, it looks like a big thing that you're doing. It's a big thing to me. If it's not a big thing to you, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to amplify it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say what I need to say. How you feel about it, it's your own business. But I'm a confident Kenyan, confident African. And that's why I never get even denied any visa. Like right now as we're talking, I have this visa and I have the Schengen visa in my passport. And I'm going to go to Italy. And if I want another visa, I'll get. Because these guys know I don't want to immigrate to their country. And secondly, I'm just there to learn. I've done that before. And I go back and I do great work in my country. Let's start building CVs where your travel history can even tell us who you are, you know. Like for me, I'll tell you, when I went for my B1, B2 visa interview, I never even spent 30 seconds with that person. They had already decided to give me the visa based on my history.
Ooh,
You understanding?
Yeah.
So you find other people had to explain a lot, had to provide a lot of documentation. But if you learn how to be confident in yourself, build that confidence. Don't deny yourself the good things when you make money. For example, if you have a chance to travel and you know you have some money in your account, travel. Travel will give you good fruits.
Yes. Exposure.
Exposure.
Yeah.
And that exposure is what is going to make you grow.
Yeah.
So don't say, let me keep this money. I need to build my house first. You know, there's one person I sponsored for a holiday. I don't want to say who it is. Imagine I sponsored them for a holiday. They said, no, instead of sponsoring me for this holiday, give me this gift. This is what I will appreciate. Because people are so money-minded in such a way they forget that they even need that holiday.
They missed out.
You understand?
Yeah.
And that holiday will change their mind.
Yes.
And so for me, we are sick in our mind. As Africans, we are very sick. We are suffering from trauma. We need healing. And if we can acknowledge this as soon as possible, let me tell you, Africans, the sky will not even be the limit for us. The sky will be our floor. If we can acknowledge the issue that, let's be confident. We are good enough. We can innovate. We are the smartest people.
Yeah.
And it's been proven over and over again by history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree. I agree. That's huge, man. Oh my God, man. What?
Yeah.
Africans, let's have some confidence, man. My people, man. Come on now.
Yes.
You know. I always say this. I mean, I could be wrong, but I believe it. I believe it wholeheartedly. Like the future is in Africa right now.
Of course.
Yes, the future's in Africa. I mean, I don't like saying that because other people want to run to Africa and then they want to take over. But
You know, even like right now, people are migrating to Africa.
yes,
Like a lot of people from Europe and America
Yes.
are migrating to Kenya.
Yes.
For example, because do you know we have the best weather? We are on the equator. We don't have extremes. So when the whole world is sleeping during winter because of snow, guess who still has, you know, good spinach and good kale and good tomatoes?
yeah,
You see, us African people, we have everything. We have food. Food is not our problem. And the thing is, we still have a lot of people sleeping hungry in Africa. And it just blows my mind. How can this be happening? Well, like for example, you go to France during winter. It's all white. They don't even have food. But you find, what is the problem? Why are we not giving them food during winter? How much money can we just make during winter from Kenya
yeah,
that even other countries in Africa cannot make because they are either GMT or they are CAT. So they experience snowy winters.
Very
but
true.
Kenya does not,
Yes.
for example. What is stopping Kenya from being one of the best producers of food?
bad politicians,
You see?
bad leaders,
Bad governance.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's always the
So-
problem, man.
So our problem is our mindset.
Yes, can we change that?
Yeah, one life at a time. I hope the people who are listening to us today, we have like two who can gain their confidence and step it up. Then inspire others. That's how change happens. It doesn't happen in a day. Can take 50 years, but I'm hopeful about that change.
Man, with all this technology and all these brains right now, 50 years is too long, man. This should take less than 5 years, man.
Yes.
We are so come on,
But the
man.
problem with us, we don't acknowledge our problem. We don't acknowledge that we have the problem, so we are not even
Okay.
fixing it.
I can agree to that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an issue
So we
already.
need to acknowledge the problem. We need to acknowledge the trauma, acknowledge how sick we are, and how we need to come back to our point of confidence. And I'm saying this not to intimidate Africans, in fact, to celebrate them. To just say, do you know how brilliant you are as an African? Do you know how just awesome you are? And what a gift you are to the world? That's the question.
Yes, I believe in you. Oh my God, man! I guess that what we can say right now, that's gonna be the new challenge for us Africans moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can we change our mindset? Can we change our leaders? Can we live a better tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's a lot going on. But leaders have to get out of here. We have to believe in ourselves, just like you mentioned. We need confidence. Actually, to be honest with you, let me give you a good example of myself, man. That is very true with the confidence thing. When I came to America, I was just like that. I was the shy guy in the back.
Yeah.
Because I thought my accent was pretty thick. When I say something, they can understand me. So my only option was to sit back and just be quiet.
Yeah.
And as time went by, you realize you start becoming, you start losing yourself. There's no confidence.
Yeah.
When someone will talk to you, start questioning yourself, like, oh, does he understand me actually? Am I speaking the right thing? Am I saying, am I pronouncing my words correctly? So you lose that confidence. It's like you're in fear. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, did I get it right?
And you always think somebody else is better than you.
Of course,
But
because
when
now,
you come to the United States, the confidence comes from, I'm a citizen of the United States. You understand? And
Yes.
then you're the same person who was in Kenya,
yeah,
but you didn't believe in yourself.
yeah.
But now you do magic.
Yeah, because now you're around other people who believe in themselves. So that's
Exactly.
why you end up changing. You
Exactly.
become just like them.
Yes.
Then when you go back home, like you mentioned earlier, you see the difference. It's like the ones you left home, they're not really having the confidence you have.
Because you see, for example, the kids in America know their rights. The kids in Africa, just go and look at a kid in Africa, they walk like this. Now, if you're raising kids who are fearing their parents, they're fearing their teachers, how do you expect the confidence to grow? We really need to empower our kids. We need to empower ourselves, and there's no way you can empower your kids if yourself, you have an issue with confidence, because what you'll be doing, you'll be trying to exert that power on your kids.
Yes. Yes.
So then the cycle goes over and over and over again, and it's just a repetition, and it's so nauseating. Like
it's just a tree.
discouraging, especially when you've discovered your true north, and then you see someone else struggling with it, and then you try to tell them, and then you see it's like they don't understand. So they see you thriving, and they feel bad. They hate you, but you're not thriving because of nothing. You're just thriving because you believed in yourself, believed in your talent, took the risk, and went on.
Yes, I agree. Well, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Rachel. I mean, we can talk forever, man. We got
Yeah,
stories
man.
and stories and stories, man. I
Yeah.
got so many questions for you, but I'm looking at the time right now. My God, I'm like, whoa, time is running, man.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you so much for stopping by. We have learned a lot from you, and I'm hoping there's gonna be a difference in our country, or at least our continent, moving forward, man. This is some good, great conversation we just had right now.
Yeah.
And actually, before we wind up, man, I want to let you. The last things you want to say to the people before we wind up?
Yeah. So I just want to say that if you're watching this video, you are enough, you are amazing, you are phenomenal, and you need to believe in yourself. If you take out a task that you need to do, just do it. And do it on a global standard. Don't do it on a local standard. Don't limit yourself. You're limitless. And the worst enemy we have is our own selves, because sometimes we sabotage ourselves. I just pray that as Africans we stop self-sabotaging, have confidence, and that will even help us to elect good leaders, make good decisions, because when you have confidence and you're thriving, you won't be bribed by anyone to vote for them. So it starts with that confidence is like a source of so much joy. in so many ways. Nobody will violate your rights, your human rights, if you have confidence. Confidence, confidence, confidence.
It's the corruption thing you're talking about right now, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna eliminate corruption doing that.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, bold statement, bold statements. But again, thank you so much. I enjoyed your company. Good
Yeah.
conversation, man. Man, who knew you can do that?
I do that a lot. I'm a
Man,
teacher.
but we didn't know that. We just learned right now.
I'm a hidden gem.
Definitely, man. I just found out right now, man. You see, this is actually, I think this is one of my easiest episodes I've ever done.
Yeah.
I had almost no questions to ask, man. You just, woo, you took off.
Yeah.
Yeah. You owned the whole thing. I mean,
Because
come
it was
on.
a very high level conversation. Thank you
Yes.
for, taking me in that direction. I was not just talking about myself, but I was talking about
course.
very important stuff.
Very important.
And, just thank you for this opportunity. It's great. And I think this is my first individual podcast I've done. I just came from a podcast in Nairobi, but we were in a panel. I fear podcast a lot, but I've enjoyed. You've helped me to ease in. And I want to do a podcast again now.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
So when I
man.
come next time, we can continue the conversation.
I want to have you for part 2 for sure, man. And I'm so happy. It's like I'm the one who broke, what should I say, your virginity for a podcast, I
Yeah.
guess. So we own it. Chafuwa Meza, come on, my guy, man. Y'all better watch this episode. We better be number 1. I want to see some big, huge numbers on the views. But on that note, thank you so much for stopping by. I had a great time. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you didn't, rewind the whole thing, start all over again, watch it over and over until you get it. You get it, do better, because if you know better, you do better. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Lemmy G. And on that note, get my merch. Make sure you get my t-shirt right now, okay? Purchase my t-shirt. And I'm see you in the next one. We out.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Wina, and I'm from Kenya. I'm very happy to be here today. I'm also currently serving also as a manager for Myogenic Africa Talents. And apart from that, also a founder of a business. And my Ignite speech today is just going to be a quick story. I'm going to try do it in 3 minutes. A quick elevator pitch, and I hope someone will be inspired. So I grew up in a place called Waithaka in Nairobi County, and I was a second born. You know how second born children are neglected most of the time, especially if you're the middle child and you're 3 kids. So basically I found myself being there, and at some point when I finished high school, I felt like my parents didn't even remember that I've not gone to college or university, because they were focused so much on my brother, who was just like 1 year older than me, and my sister was also joining high school. So basically what happened is I left my parents' house when I was 17 years old. I went to live in a ghetto in Nairobi. I started life without gas, without anything to be able to even cook. I started with a 3x6 mattress in a corridor house that looked like a corridor. And my first job was hawking in the streets of Nairobi. Hawking is like selling goods illegally in the streets, of course, and the city council police officers will be chasing after you. That's how I started. And what happened is I saved 150,000 Kenyan shillings and enrolled myself to the East African School of Journalism. From hawking. From that, I learned that you don't have to hate any job as long as you can do a job and you can raise the money, and that job can help you to achieve the dream that you want to achieve. For me, my dream was to be a news anchor, a journalist. That's what I wanted to be. And so when I saved my money and it was enough, I enrolled myself into a college. And in the East African School of Journalism, funny enough, in my class full of very rich children of very rich people who were able to pay, I paid up my whole school fees on day 1, all of it. Well, the rest were looking for their school fees. Mine was fully paid. What happened next was that education opened a door for me. because what education did, it gave me a chance to get an internship, and I went for an internship at Kenya News Agency. And at Kenya News Agency, I got poached by Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, and the story continues. I got poached again, and I went to Kenya Television Network. Then I went back to Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Then one day, I was invited to a film set by my friend who was a caterer. He was German. His name is Rolf Smith. He's the late now, unfortunately. So he invited me to go and make a documentary of him serving people on a film set. But when I went to that set, it was the set of the famous movie, The White Maasai. When I went to this film set, I realized that that film had a budget of 800 million Kenyan shillings, and I was like, what? Are you serious? One movie can have a budget of 800 million Kenyan shillings. That's a lot of money, even if you look at it in form of dollars. So I said, oh wow, film looks good. And film is not sad. And film is not something that you just, when you can make a story and say somebody's dead, but they're not really dead, you know? It's not like news. So I felt more compelled to, because I'm a very creative person, to leave journalism and go into the fictional world of filmmaking. Long story short, when I got into the filmmaking space, I started as a self-taught filmmaker. Meaning I had not gone to any school to learn filmmaking. I just survived with the networks that I met on that film set that I was on. After years of practicing the same thing, becoming better at what I was doing, I've traveled the world courtesy of filmmaking. I was among the first cohort of Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders in 2014, selected by the former President of the United States of America, Barack Obama. On 2014, I got to visit America for the first time, and I came as a prestigious fellow. Studied at the University of Notre Dame, and it's a very nice university, by the way, and my colleagues studied, all of us studied in the Ivy League universities in America for free. And then we got to meet the president, and we got certificate from the President of the United States of America acknowledging our work. So basically, after that, I've traveled the world. I've been to Cannes Film Festival, I've been to Venice, I've been, name it, all the big film festivals in the world. I bought my house in Kenya. I don't rent. I bought my house cash from filmmaking. And the other thing is, I think I became the first filmmaker last year to be funded $1 million to make my film in Kenya. And this is just to say that, you know, all that journey looks short, but it's very long. It started in 2005, and today is 2025, so that's about 20 years of persistence, consistency, and just doing what you need to do. Today, I have received awards. I've been recognized as top 40 women in film in Africa, most influential woman in film in Kenya, 2 times, including this year. And I came up with a big dream to build the largest film village in Kenya, a 300-acre film city. It's called the Film Village of Kenya, and I also became the youngest Kenyan woman to sign an MOU with the government of Kenya to build a 300-acre film city in Kenya. So basically, what does that mean? What I've learned in my journey is that if I'm able to focus, come up with dreams, and believe that I'm not limited by anyone, I can achieve whatever I want. And I can also be able to impact many lives. So let me tell you the story of Youth Film Platform Africa that has made me nominated for an award tonight. This is an organization that started with 27 students being trained in a church, just like this church, being trained with church equipment. And today we've impacted on 5,000 students in Kenya directly. We've also impacted on communities. 15,000 people have been impacted by our programs. We've expanded that program to cover 18 African countries virtually, and now we are covering 4 countries in person. Currently, if you want to go in person, you find the YFP program. You'll find it in Kenya. We have an office in Buruburu SOS villages. We have in Uganda. We have in Kigali, and we have in Nigeria. And we are hoping to go to different parts of Africa to also take our programming there. So basically, what we do is empowering the youth with practical and professional skills in multimedia for income generation and social self-expression. My story is a story of taking lemons and making a lemonade out of it. Thank you very much.
Chafuwa Meza, Chafuwa Meza, tuko Nairobi tuna Chafuwa Meza.